Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a vast canyon. The other side is visible, but it seems distant, unreachable. The wind carries the scent of rain, dust, and something else, something older. You look behind you and see the footprints of your life stretching out like faint shadows in the sand. You realize something terrifying. Each footprint grows closer to the next. Each memory, once wide and vivid, now compressed into a blur. Where did all the time go? When you were a child, summers lasted forever. A single afternoon felt like an entire universe. Now, years vanish in the blink of an eye. A decade slips through your fingers like water you can no longer hold. But why? Why does time, once a sprawling ocean, shrink into a rushing river the older we get? It is not merely an illusion. It is not simply because we're busy. It is a deeper phenomenon, one that lives inside the very architecture of your mind. Your brain does not experience time the way a clock measures it. It constructs time. It invents it. Moments filled with novelty, wonder, fear, or profound emotion are recorded in vibrant detail. The more new experiences you have, the more expansive and full time feels. But when life falls into routine, when days repeat like faded copies of each other, the mind stops paying attention. It compresses the familiar into thin, barely noticeable memories. Familiarity collapses time. Attention stretches it. The child, seeing everything for the first time, lives in an endless present. The adult, numbed by repetition, races toward an invisible horizon, wondering where it all went. And it gets worse. Technology, for all its miracles, has sharpened the blade. We live in an era of endless stimulation, scrolling, swiping, flickering between fragments of experiences to shallow to anchor memory. Each distraction steals a drop of your life's richness. Each moment of fractured attention collapses time even further. You reach for your phone. You lose an hour. You lose a day. You lose yourself. And the canyon widens. You wake up one morning and realize, without knowing exactly when it happened, that you are a stranger inside your own life. Is it possible to reclaim it? Is it possible to slow the furious river? To once again touch time as you did when you were young, when every second vibrated with meaning? The answer is not in the world outside. It is in the way you move through it, in the way you perceive, attend, and inhabit each fleeting moment. The first step is seeing clearly. Time is not a machine outside of you. It is a mirror inside of you. And if the mirror has grown dusty, blurred with repetition and distraction, you have the power to clear it. You have the power to stretch time, to expand each day, each breath, into something that feels infinite again. But to do so, you must first confront the habits, the beliefs, the invisible machinery that shrinks your life into a compressed memory you barely recognize. And so the question hangs in the air, silent and urgent. Are you truly living your moments, or are you merely passing through them? Of course, time is not just what the clock measures. It is what your mind believes. It shapes your behavior, your emotions, your very sense of self. Silently, invisibly, with every heartbeat, you were taught to think of time as linear, past, present, future, a neat arrow pointing forward. But your mind does not experience it that way. It bends, it loops, it collapses and stretches depending on the weight you assign to memory, expectation, and meaning. Your past is not dead. It lives inside you, coloring every perception, every choice you make. Your future is not distant. It tugs at your present decisions, whispering fears and promises that may never come true. You are never fully here. You are a creature stretched thin between what was and what might be. And most of the time, you don't even notice the tension until it chokes you. A moment of regret, a flood of anxiety, a paralyzing sense that no matter what you do, you're always late for a life you can't seem to catch. This is the invisible war happening inside you every day. The past pulls you backward. Remember who you were, what you failed to do. The future pushes you forward. Run faster, achieve more, fix yourself before it's too late. And in the chaos, the present moment, the only place life actually happens, slips quietly away. You mistake productivity for progress. You confuse busyness with meaning. You race through life thinking you are mastering time, while in reality, time is mastering you. But what if you could step out of the current? What if you could hold the present moment still, even as the river rages around you? Understanding the psychology of time is the first key, because here's the hidden truth: stress, anxiety, and overwhelm are not just reactions to having too much to do. They are symptoms of a fractured relationship with time itself. When you live trapped between regret and fear, you fracture your own soul. You split yourself across timelines you can never fully control, and the price you pay is steep. Joy becomes scarce, meaning becomes elusive, presence becomes impossible. But it doesn't have to be this way. If you see the mechanisms at work, if you understand how your mind constructs time, you can begin to dismantle the trap. You can stop letting the past define you. You can stop letting the future terrorize you. You can reclaim the only thing that was ever real: this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. You do not have to outrun time. You only have to wake up inside it. And when you do, something miraculous happens. Stress softens. Anxiety loosens its grip. The endless chase dissolves into stillness. You remember that you are not here to race through life like a ghost hunting unfinished dreams. You are here to inhabit it, to be it. But knowing this is not enough. It must be lived. How, then, do you live differently? How do you transform this fragile knowledge into a new way of being? The answer is not found in theory. It's forged in the simple, radical choices you make every day. And that journey begins by learning to wield time, not as an enemy, but as an ally. You cannot control time itself, but you can control how you move within it. And that difference is everything. Most people treat time like a river they're drowning in, gasping, thrashing, trying to stay afloat. But time was never meant to be survived. It was meant to be shaped, to be honored, to be lived. And the first tool is not in your calendar or your to-do list. It's in your attention. Where attention goes, life expands. Where it fragments, life collapses. Every time you let your attention scatter, endless notifications, mindless scrolling, empty busyness, you let time slip through your fingers like sand. But when you choose consciously where your focus lives, you stretch moments into something vast and meaningful. Time management is not about cramming more tasks into your day. It's about deciding which moments are worthy of your life. Because that's what you are trading. Not minutes, not hours, your life. Every yes to something meaningless is a no to something sacred. So you must begin ruthlessly. Set goals, not just based on achievement, but on meaning. Ask yourself, does this move me toward the life I want to feel? Not just the life I want to show. Break your days into sacred spaces. Protect time for deep work. Protect time for silence. Protect time for simply being. Practice mindfulness not as a luxury, but as survival. Mindfulness is not sitting on a cushion trying to empty your mind. It is living each act, eating, walking, speaking as if it matters. Because it does. When you live mindlessly, days pass unnoticed, like background noise. When you live mindfully, each moment becomes a note in a song too beautiful to ignore. You don't slow time by working faster. You slow time by moving deeper. When you are fully immersed in creation, in connection, even in simple presence, time bends around you. Minutes stretch. Experiences root themselves deeply into memory. Life feels rich again. And this richness isn't accidental. It is crafted, deliberate, a rebellion against the chaos. Because modern life teaches you to move faster, chase harder, fear missing out. But true mastery of time means embracing stillness amid the rush. It means daring to live slow when the world screams at you to sprint. It means treating your minutes as sacred currency, because they are. And as you build this discipline, something unexpected happens. You stop living reactively. You start living architecturally. You design days that feel worth remembering. You create a rhythm that nourishes instead of depleting. You become a conscious participant in your own life, not a victim of time, but its sculptor. And yet, a deeper challenge waits ahead, because even the best strategies crumble if they're not rooted in something stronger: growth, transformation, the choice to become someone new, someone who doesn't just manage time, but uses it to awaken their truest self. The real question is not, how can I fit more into my life? The real question is, how can I expand my life into something worth fitting into time? There is something time offers that no shortcut, no technology, no instant gratification can replace. Time is the forge where true transformation happens, not in the rushed hours, not in the frantic chase, but in the long, slow shaping of who you are becoming. Most people waste this forge. They see time only as a measurement, counting days, tracking years, while their inner world remains unchanged. But those who awaken to time's deeper gift use it differently. They see every day as raw material. They understand that every hour holds the seed of a new self, not through grand, dramatic acts, through steady, almost invisible rituals. Habits. Habits are the architecture of transformation. It is not what you occasionally do that shapes your life. It's what you consistently build, in silence, in obscurity, away from applause. 5 minutes spent reflecting instead of rushing. 10 minutes spent creating instead of consuming. A single conversation held with depth instead of drifting through another shallow exchange. Tiny actions, repeated in the quiet corners of your life, become the defining story of who you are. Growth is not a moment. It is a rhythm. It is waking up each morning and choosing, again and again, to become. It is falling down and standing back up, forgetting and remembering, losing yourself and finding yourself in the same breath. And with each choice, each cycle of death and rebirth, you stretch time open. You fill it not with noise, but with becoming. You realize that fulfillment is not found in distant futures, but woven moment by moment into the present. Time stops being something you race against. It becomes the soil you plant yourself into, and slowly, beautifully, something extraordinary begins to grow. Gratitude, not the forced, hollow gratitude shouted by motivational posters, but the kind that wells up unbidden when you realize you are not here to survive time. You are here to use time to discover who you truly are. You are here to turn the simple, fleeting minutes of your life into something sacred. When you treat time with reverence, you no longer live waiting for someday. You no longer postpone your joy, your growth, your presence. You begin to understand the life you dream of is not waiting somewhere far ahead. It is waiting for you in this hour, in this breath, and with every small act of presence, every tiny commitment to something deeper, you build a life that feels vast, rich, and full, no matter how fast the world around you spins. But there's still one final, terrifying truth left to face, because even if you master productivity, presence, and growth, it means nothing unless you confront the ultimate question. What will you leave behind? What meaning will your time carve into the fabric of the world? The river of time carries us all forward, but only those who live with intention quarrels that outlast them. And it is here, in the search for meaning, that time reveals its final, greatest gift. At the end of it all, time is not remembered by hours, or minutes, or the ticking of a clock. It is remembered by meaning. Meaning is what gives weight to a fleeting life. It is what stretches a single day into something eternal. It is what transforms existence from survival into something sacred. But meaning does not arrive by accident. It is not handed down from the heavens, ready-made. Meaning is crafted, moment by moment, choice by choice. It is born in how you love, in how you listen, in how you show up when it matters most, and even when it seems to matter least. Time becomes meaningful when it becomes relational, when it connects you, not just to your goals or achievements, but to others. A conversation where you truly see someone, a moment of stillness shared with no words at all, a hand held at the edge of goodbye. These are the moments that defy time. These are the moments that leave echoes after we are gone. Because when your minutes are used to love, to serve, to create beauty, they don't vanish. They ripple outward, touching lives you will never meet, shaping a world you will never fully see. Your life is not measured by its length. It is measured by its impact, and impact is never built from grand, perfect plans. It is built from the fragile, flawed, trembling moments when you choose to care, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's inconvenient. It's easy to lose yourself chasing futures that never arrive. It's easy to drown in regret for pasts you cannot rewrite. But the truth is simpler and harder. You have only this time, this breath, this fleeting, glorious now. And in this now, you have the power to create meaning that lasts beyond you. Not through fame, not through wealth, but through presence. Through a life that touches other lives so deeply that the ripples never stop moving, long after you are gone. The question is not, how much time do I have left? The question is, what will I do with the time I have? Every hour is a blank page. Every day, a chance to write something that matters. Not perfectly, not endlessly, but truly. You were never meant to race against time. You were meant to dance with it, to weave moments of joy, courage, tenderness, and truth into the fabric of your days, until time itself stands still in wonder. And when your final moment comes, you will not fear that life was too short. You will know it was enough, because you did not just exist, you lived, and in doing so, you became timeless. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. There's more valuable content and new releases ahead for your growth.